Hello and welcome to Vinyasa Flow and Restorative Yoga, half and half. Grab a couple of yoga blocks, a strap, a blanket, and a pillow. And let's begin in Hero's Pose, sitting with your knees in front of you and your shins on the ground, pointing your toes back. Now, if it's uncomfortable for your knees to sit directly on your calves, you could sit on a block or two right between your ankles. Here is an excerpt from Tara Brach's book, Radical Acceptance, Embracing Your Life with the Heart of a Buddha. And she actually references a storyteller named Michael Meade, who talks about a healing ritual in Zambia, Africa. If a member of the tribe becomes ill, emotionally or physically, the belief is that an ancestor's tooth has lodged itself within the person and is responsible for the sickness. Because all members of the tribe are connected with each other, the suffering of one affects the others, and all become involved in healing. The tribe's healing ritual is based on the understanding that, as Meade relates, the tooth will come out as the truth comes out. While the sick person must reveal the rage or hatred or lust they're experiencing, for the full truth to be revealed, each person in the tribe must express his or her own buried hurts and fears, anger and disappointment. As Meade describes it, the release happens only when everything comes out in the midst of dancing and singing and drumming. The whole village gets cleansed by the release of the tooth through the release of these difficult truths. This ritual holds great wisdom to remind us that healing ourselves or one person takes a village, and it involves healing all of us, and it's a ripple effect. Unlike in our own culture where we consider illness or depression to be a personal liability or affliction, rather, suffering is a shared concern, a part of everyone's life. Pain doesn't belong to one individual. And not taking pain personally is essential to radical acceptance. Realizing the truth of our belonging, that we're all suffering and awakening together on this path, is the most powerful antidote to personal feelings of unworthiness. We'll dive deeper into that practice of collective awakening and collective healing in a loving kindness meditation at the end. But for now, root down to your left and right, sitting bones, lift up through the center of your spine, roll your shoulders back and down, and let your hands both rest at your heart center. Tune in. What do you feel in your body right now? What do you feel in the breath and the way it's naturally flowing? And what do you feel in your mind and in your heart or emotional state? Practicing compassion for yourself. How might you honor however you're feeling in these different layers of being in this practice today? Let in a deeper breath through the nose. And feel free to make any sound as you exhale through your mouth. A couple more on your own. Giving and receiving, both parts of a complete breath. Giving and receiving with the world around you, that life force energy. So what's your why? What's your personal prayer as you arrive in your practice today? Pinpoint a feeling you want to invite into your experience or quality within yourself you'd like to bring out and strengthen, or maybe something specific in your life in which you might be practicing self-compassion or compassion for someone else. Clarifying your intention or sankalpa. Then call to mind somebody or something that you really care about to offer this practice to. Making a dedication in that felt sense altar within your heart. Let's open space, create resonance together as a community, using our voices to chant Om 3 times, pausing after the end of each. Inhale deeply. Om. Bow in towards your heart center, honoring the light within you. And let's begin to slow the breath down and even it out, in and out through the nose with the lips closed. Invite a soft whisper to your breath by gently narrowing or constricting the back of your throat, practicing Ujjayi Pranayama, which means victorious breath. Slow and steady. Let's make our way into downward facing dog. Take a few breaths when you arrive, lifting your hips high to pedal your feet out in place or move your body in a way that helps you to welcome it into your physical yoga practice. Downward facing dog. Spread your fingers wide and point the index fingers forward so that they're parallel to each other. And roll your triceps, which are your outer upper arms, to face the ground so that you can broaden the shoulder blades apart. Soften the back of your neck. Feel free to bend the knees any amount as you firm in your belly. Now notice the even height of your hips generally as both of your feet are on the floor. Firm your outer hips towards your midline to keep them even in height as you inhale to raise your right leg behind you and pause and breathe. Look under your belly and see that your right knee and toes are all facing the floor, not turned open to the right. Then equally lengthen both of your arms as you relax your neck and breathe. Tack your left outer hip back and inhale, press your inner right heel further back towards the rear wall. As you exhale, round into plank, bend the knee towards your nose and lift the belly, dome the spine, press the floor away with your hands. Step the foot beside your right thumb and lower your back knee, placing your fingertips on the ground or on blocks. As you inhale here, roll your shoulders behind your ears and down, look up, kneeling lunge. Tuck the back toes and exhale, begin to straighten the legs, keep your feet where they are. And bow as if you have a flat back. Let's take that twice more to the breath. Inhale, back to a kneeling lunge, look up. A little bit of cow pose as you lift the chest. Exhale, straighten your legs to your degree by scissoring the right hip back and reaching your chest forward as you fold. Once more, inhale, kneeling lunge, coil your chest up. Exhale, wide pyramid pose, bow with a long spine. Return to your kneeling lunge. Front knee stacked right above the heel. Scoot the left knee back, maybe another inch or more, to get a little deeper stretch into the top of your left thigh, your hip flexor. And as you do that, keep your right foot still, but energetically feel as if you're dragging it towards the back of your mat. Then activate your belly. Lift your frontal hip bones up towards your lowest front ribs so that the belly isn't relaxing onto the right thigh, but it's pulling up and away from it. A few more breaths here. Roll the front of your shoulders back, tilt your chest up, maybe look slightly up as you soften the eyes. Then plant your hands flat and step back into downward facing dog. Keeping your two hips leveled again, lift the leg from the inseam. Inhale, raise your left leg back. Flex the foot. Take a few breaths here, look under your belly. See that your left knee and toes are all facing the floor. Then tack your right outer hip back to equally lengthen the left and right sides of your torso. Press evenly through both palms and relax your neck. Take another breath in. Press the inner left heel towards the back wall. Exhale, round, lift the belly high, bend the knee towards your nose, and very softly step your left foot forward beside your left thumb. Lower your back knee. Come onto your fingertips, hands on the floor or on blocks. Let's flow. Inhale, kneeling lunge. Look up, link your hips. Tuck your back toes. Exhale, straighten your legs to your degree and bow as if you have a flat back. 2 more rounds. Inhale, kneeling lunge, coil your chest up. Exhale, wide pyramid pose. Hold in. Inhale, kneeling lunge. Exhale, pyramid pose. Return to your kneeling lunge. Plant the front knee right on top of the heel. If available without strain, scoot the right knee back another inch or more. Let your pelvis sink, but pull in the lower belly so it's not resting onto your left thigh, but it's drawing inward towards your spine. And then lift your frontal hip bones. You might find it helpful to place hands on blocks and walk them back closer to your hips. Lifting your spine as upright as you can here. Roll the front of your shoulders behind the ears. Drop them down, maybe look slightly up. 2 or 3 more breaths. Tuck the back toes, and this time step forward and fold at the top of your mat. Feet hips width or wider apart and parallel. Bend your knees a lot and reach your hands behind your lower back to clasp or hold a strap between the hands. And as you breathe in, engage the belly in and lift the chest forward, rising into Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, keep the hands together and bow over your legs. Let your head just hang freely as you stretch the arms away from your lower back, breath by breath. Bending your elbows slightly, lift the shoulders up, drop the head down. Maybe even softly shake the head. Couple more breaths here in Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Then as you drop the arms, start to roll up with knees bent, as if stacking one vertebra at a time, inhaling all the way up into Padasana. Join your hands to meet at your heart, close your eyes a moment, and remember your intention or personal prayer for this practice. Bring it into how you breathe and how you hold yourself up physically and energetically. Let's practice embodying that intention in the present moment. 1 round of Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, sweep your arms forward, roll the shoulders behind your ears, lift your heart, but stretch the tailbone towards your inner heels, little back bend. Exhale, bow over your legs. Press blocks or the ground. Inhale, stretch your spine forward. Carefully step into your version of plank. Pause there. Legs straight or knees on the ground, right under the hips. Pause and lift the sides of your waist. Spread your shoulder blades apart. Lengthen your neck, look on the floor ahead. Deep breaths. If your legs are straight, activate the muscles in your legs. Firm the inner heels back. With a long line throughout the center of your body, breathe in, glide forward without bending the elbows. Breathe out, bend the elbows back and hug your side ribs. Pause halfway. Open up the chest, lengthen the neck, and then come all the way down. From down through the tops of your feet. Hug the elbows close to your ribs. Inhale, cobra. Drop the shoulders back. Stretch the legs long. Tuck your toes, firm in the belly. Exhale, press up to plank. Then lift your hips, downward facing dog. Let your body be still. Listen in for 3 breaths. Listen to the end of the 3rd exhale before you walk or lightly jump to the front of your mats. Inhale, press blocks or the ground, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, sweep your arms forward. Rise into a gentle standing back bend, coiling your chest up. Exhale, seal your palms together at your hearts. Let's begin 2 rounds of sun salutation B, 1 breath each movement. Bring your feet together to touch. Bend your knees together to touch. Inhale, sit low in chair pose. Exhale, bow forward. Press blocks or the ground. Inhale, lengthen forward. Step to plank to lower slowly or lightly jump into Chaturanga Dandasana. This time, breathe into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, moving to your breath. Inhale, sweep your right leg back, keep your hips leveled. Exhale, round forward, knee to nose. Step the foot beside your right thumb and spin your back heel down, face forward. Inhale, rise to warrior 1. Ride your exhale all the way down into your vinyasa. Finishing in downward facing dog. Once there, at your pace of breath, inhale, raise your left leg, keeping the hips leveled. Exhale, round forward, knee to nose. Step the foot lightly beside your left thumb and spin the back heel down. Inhale, rise up, warrior 1. Ride the exhalation down to Chaturanga or to the ground. Finish your vinyasa. Let's meet in downward facing dog, rebalancing the breath for 3 cycles. Land your eyes on one spot, steadying your gaze or drishti to help steady your mental focus. After you finish the 3rd exhale, walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat. Let your feet touch. There, inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. With knees together, inhale, sit low in chair pose. Exhale, rise up, hands together at the heart in mountain pose. 1 more round of sun salutation B. Inhale, chair, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Walk or float back to Chaturanga Dandasana. Continue through your vinyasa. At Adho Mukha Svanasana, inhale, raise your right leg, keep the hips leveled. Exhale the foot beside right thumb, back heel down. Inhale, rise up to Virabhadrasana 1. Lower as you exhale into your vinyasa. Side 2 when you're ready from downward dog. Inhale, lift your left leg, keep the hips leveled. Exhale the foot beside your left thumb, drop the back heel. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Lower into your vinyasa at your pace of breath. Downward dog. Give it 3 breaths, recalibrating the breath. and re-strengthening your focus. When you finish the third exhale, walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat. Feet together there. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, rise up into Padasana. Take a few deep breaths here. Feel into your heart space. What's the vibration or energy you sense there? Listen to the whisper at the back of your throat. And then separate your feet hips distance apart. Keep your two hips facing forward. In fact, place your hands on your hips and step your left foot back into Warrior One. Bend your front knee right on top of the heel, scissoring your right hip back. Straighten your left leg entirely, press the outer heel down, and spiral your inner left thigh towards the back wall. Lift your frontal hip bones, activate your lower belly, and drop the tailbone. Then raise your arms overhead while relaxing the shoulders down. Hug in the bottom of your front ribs. Check in with a breath. Keep your legs in Warrior One and backstroke both arms to interlace your fingers behind your lower back. As you breathe in, coil your chest up. Keep scissoring the right hip back and grounding the left heel as you exhale. Start to bow either on top of your right thigh or to the inside of it. Dropping your head as you reach the arms forward. Take a few more breaths in humble or devotional warrior. Inhale, rise up halfway or diagonally, hovering the belly off of the right thigh. Keep your hands clasped or place your hands on blocks in front of you, moving into Warrior Three. Flex the left foot off the floor and tilt your torso forward. And it might be helpful to bend the right knee here to help you turn the left outer hip down. Lift the navel and tack the right hip back. Remember how it felt to square your hips when you lifted a leg back in downward dog. Spiral your inner left thigh towards the ceiling. Keep your weight on right foot. Bend your left knee in front of you and rise up to stand on your right leg, catching the left thigh or shin. Take a moment to ground here. Draw the left hip down, lift up to your crown, breathe. Place your right hand on your right hip, and now hug your left knee next to the right knee and backstroke the left arm as we prepare for dancer pose. Catch your outer foot or inner foot and close the knees. Draw your tailbone downward towards the inside of your right knee. Lift your frontal hip bones. Now begin to kick your left foot back as though you want to go back to Warrior Three, but at the same time, pull the foot towards you and lift your chest. Lift your right arm. Maybe bring the thumb and first finger to touch. And you're in it. About 4 more breaths in Natarajasana, dancer pose. Deep breaths, opening the heart space. Slowly rise up vertically and set your left foot next to the right. Bring your hands in prayer, maybe close the eyes. Take a couple of breaths to tune in here. Deep, even breaths through the nose. Bring your hands to your hips, separate your feet hips width apart. Step your right foot back far and drop the heel, Warrior One. Bend your front knee right over the heel and scissor your left hip back. Straighten your right leg and press the outer heel down while spinning the inner right thigh towards your back wall. Activate your lower belly by lifting your frontal hip bones. Anchor your tailbone down. Then reach the arms up, relax the shoulders. Warrior One. Virabhadrasana 1. Backstroke your arms, switch the interlacing of your thumb or index finger on top. Inhale, coil your chest up. Keep your hips squared and ground through the back foot as you exhale to bow into humble or devotional warrior. Leaning onto the left thigh or on the inside of it. Drop your head, let your head hang freely. Stretch the arms away from your lower back and lift the shoulders up. 3 more breaths. Root down to your feet. Lift your spine diagonally forward so your belly is hovering off of the left thigh. Keep your hands clasped in this variation of Degasana. Scissor the left hip back, spiral your inner right thigh towards the rear wall, and find a lift of the navel. Broaden your chest forward. With your eyes steadied on one spot, begin to tilt your torso forward and raise the back leg with your right foot flexed, Warrior 3. You might find it helpful to bend the left knee here as you're squaring the hips, turning the right hip to face down, pressing the instep of your right foot towards the back wall, and tacking your left outer hip back. A few more breaths in Virabhadrasana 3. Keep your weight on your left foot and start to lift your torso. Bend the right knee in front of you. Catch the thigh or shin. Keep flexing the right foot as you drop the right hip lower. Level your hips and draw your navel inward and up. Tune into your breath as we transition into Natarajasana. Place your left hand on your left hip. Bend your right knee to hug the left knee. Backstroke your right arm. And catch hold of the inner or outer foot. Close the knees and draw the tailbone actively downward towards the inside of your left knee. Kick your right foot back as though re-entering Warrior 3. At the same time, pull the foot towards your glutes and lift your heart center. Lift your left arm up, maybe the thumb and first finger to touch. 4 more breaths in dancer pose. When you're ready, softly step the right foot next to the left and join your hands in prayer. Give yourself a few breaths here to just sense what feels alive in you right now, mind, body, spirit. Inhale, circle your arms overhead, watch your palms touch. Exhale, forward fold. Last vinyasa, if you'd like to take it. Or take a version of cat-cow instead. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Entering the yin and restorative portion of our practice. Let's prepare for single pigeon pose. Turn out your right thigh at the hip and slide the right shin across your mat in front of your pelvis, coming down to sit. Walk your hands back alongside your hips, and just like Warrior 1, scissor the right hip back and bring the left hip forward. You might find it helpful to place a blanket under the right glute if it's lifting high off the ground. Now from here, you could bow forward, you could catch your torso with blocks or pillows to bear hug. You could continue with back bends if you're feeling that. King Pigeon is where you backstroke the left arm, bend the left knee, and catch hold of your left ankle or foot. You might raise the right arm, you might hook the top of the left foot in the crook of the left elbow and clasp the hands overhead, like a mermaid pose. Now, if you're bowing forward, there's also an option to twist. We will get into a twist later. But if you want to thread the needle here for the upper back, you could crawl the right fingertips towards the upper right corner of your mat. Bend the right elbow up towards the sky. Then slide your left arm underneath your right bent elbow and lower the left side of your head on the ground or on a pillow or something else. Let's count another 15 breaths where you've landed now. Continue to invite your right hip to scissor back as the inner left thigh spins towards the ceiling. And feel the quality of your breath. Long, easeful breaths, bringing ease to the mind and that soothing sound of ocean waves, and breathing ease into the body to open up and release tension. Take your time counting your own pace of 15 breaths. When you do finish, take your time transitioning back to downward facing dog. When you get to downward facing dog again, you might want to lift the right leg up and give it a little shake or circle, encouraging a little more blood flow into that right hip. Then as you feel ready, start with both feet on the ground in downward dog and turn out your left thigh at the hip. Slide your left shin across your mat in front of your pelvis, sitting down with your right leg straight behind you. With your hands framing your hips, scissor your left hip back and bring the right hip forward. Maybe place a prop under your left glute. Try to go into the same variations that you explored on the first side. Maybe you backstroke the right arm and come into king pigeon. Maybe you place pillows in front of you to bear hug as you bow forward. Maybe you move into thread the needle, a spinal twist, in which you crawl the left hand towards the upper left corner of your mat, bending the elbow up, and thread your right arm underneath your left bent elbow, resting the right side of your head on the ground or a prop. Now where you've landed, begin to count 15 full, balanced breaths. Take your time when you finish at your own pace, counting 15 breaths. Then gradually lift your body up into downward facing dog again. This time you might raise your left leg and give it some movement at the hip. Let's meet sitting down with your legs in front of you. Come up to the center of your mat. Grab your 2 blocks and place one at the tallest height all the way at the back of your mat, which will catch your head for supported fish pose, a back bend. Second block, place it on the medium height and across the mat closer to you. Then grab your blanket. We're going to also be in supported Supta Baddha Konasana. Unfold your blanket to your wingspan's width, just about like this. And then roll it up into a tight, smooth burrito, so that the length of the burrito is almost your wingspan. Nice and smooth. And now from here, bring the soles of your feet together to touch. Also, grab your strap and just place it off to the side near the back of your mat so you'll know where it is. Bend your knees apart in bound angle pose, and then place that burrito across your inner ankles and tuck the edges of it under your outer thighs. Make sure that you feel well supported to just drop the knees open. From here, keep your pelvis on the floor and start to lean your torso back so that the first block at the medium height catches the area that's right underneath the bottom tips of your shoulder blades. Feel that it's even here on the left and right sides. And then roll your shoulder bones down into the space between the blocks and catch the back of your skull with the tallest block. Or if you're feeling like your shoulders are pretty open after those other back bends we did, you could tilt the block under your head one step lower so that the blocks will be like an equal sign. You could even go further and tilt the block under your head another step lower so that the block under your rib cage is higher. See what feels right for your body right now. And then you might bend the elbows apart like a cactus shape to promote the external rotation of your shoulder bones and their sockets. Make sure the shoulders aren't shrugging, closing up the neck. Relax the shoulder blades down your back. Maybe close the eyes. Let's even out the breath again. Empty this breath. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep counting. Maybe another cycle or two. A way to give the mind something to do so that it's paying attention to the present moment. And with each breath out, find some part of your body to relax more deeply, where the bones submit to the weight of gravity. Relaxing your jaw and your tongue, softening all the muscles on your face, relaxing your ears, your scalp. What else can you relax with each out breath? We'll be here for just a few more breaths, soaking it in. Yeah, start to wiggle your fingers. Really small movements, very subtle. Rub your thumbs across your fingertips. Maybe keep the eyes closed. Listen to your breath. Then start to stretch the arms overhead. Maybe even interlace the fingers. Flip the palms inside out. Lengthen the sides of your waist. Take a deep breath here. Then lower your hands to your outer thighs. Untuck the blanket from underneath them. And use your hands to help you lift your thighs. Point the knees up, step the feet on the ground. Nice and slow, no rush. Pause here, feet on the floor. Take another deep breath. Now decide which way to get up that is the least amount of movement for you. Maybe you turn over to one side and press the hands into the floor. Or maybe you press both hands alongside the hips and slowly lift your torso forward. Coming up, remove the blocks from your mat. Put the blanket aside and lie back down again onto your back. Step your left foot on the ground and bend the right knee into your chest. Grab your strap and step the ball of your right foot into your strap. Extend your right leg up, slide your left leg down on the floor. Let's prepare for a supine spinal twist. Hold the strap in your left hand. Slide your hips towards the right edge of your mat, maybe another 4 inches to the right. Open your right arm out to the right side and make sure the right shoulder stays on the ground. Sickle your right foot. From the ankle, turn the sole of your right foot to face the right wall. 1/3 at a time. Begin to twist to your left, pausing for at least a breath before you continue twisting. 1/3 at a time. So that as you're doing this, you're really taking notice of the sensations and how they may be changing as you explore the range of your spinal twist. Remember to only go as far as you can feel your right shoulder in contact with the floor. Bring your awareness to your right outer hip. As you continue to twist, tilt your right outer hip forward towards the front edge of your mat, inviting space across your lower back. Let's stay here for about 10 more deep breaths. You might turn your head to gaze past your right shoulder. When you're finished counting those 10 breaths at your own pace, slowly begin to lift the right leg up, bend the knee towards your chest, and remove the strap. Step your right foot on the ground and center your pelvis on your mat. Bend your left knee into your chest and step the ball of your left foot into the strap. Extend your left leg up high and hold the strap in your right hand. Then slide your pelvis closer to the left edge of your mat. Slide your right leg to the floor. Open your left arm to the left side and ground that shoulder. Then sickle your left foot by turning the sole of your left foot to face the right wall, moving from the ankle. 1/3 of your range at a time. Breathe and twist to the right. Pausing each third of the way for at least a breath, noticing whatever you notice, especially in sensations. Go only as far into the twist where you could feel your left shoulder remain on the floor. You might even turn your gaze past it, stretching your neck too. As you stay in your twist longer, tilt your left outer hip forward towards the front edge of your mat. And now let's count 10 slow breaths here. Finish those 10 breaths at your own pace so that when you do, you can roll onto your back again, bend the left knee into your chest, and remove the strap. After that, bend both knees into your chest and take a few breaths. Maybe you rock side to side or forward and back, or maybe you circle the legs together and apart. Then gently rock up to sit, and sit in a way in which you can straddle your legs apart. Legs straight, maybe elevate your pelvis on a folded blanket. We're about to fold forward, so if you want to set up props to catch your torso here, you can. Like an incline made out of 2 blocks and a pillow, where the blocks are stacked underneath the furthest edge of the pillow away from your pelvis so that it slants downward right up against your pelvis. Cup the tops of your thighs with your hands and roll your inner thighs back, rooting your 2 sitting bones. Lift your frontal hip bones, lengthen your spine, and roll the shoulders back and down. Honoring the space at your throat, begin to hinge from your hips. Take your time. Breathe. Keep your knees pointing straight up. Make sure that they don't turn to face forward. Now let's count 20 breaths here. This is our last pose before we move towards Shavasana after some breath work. If you're turning your head to one side, halfway through, you might turn your head to face the opposite direction, balancing your neck. Taking your time to finish counting your 20 breaths. When you're done, place your hands on the floor and let your head be heavy. Start to lift the chest, slowly rising up. And now let's set up for corpse. Actually, almost forgot our breath work. So find a way to sit comfortably for a few minutes of alternate nostril breathing. Root down through the left and right sides of your pelvis and lift the spine tall but not rigidly. Relax the shoulders back and down. Rest your left hand on your lap, maybe in a mudra of your choice, like thumb and first finger to touch for concentration. Peace fingers with a palm face up, which is actually pran mudra, promoting vital energy. The right hand, place it in Vishnu mudra. That's where you stick out the thumb, pinky, and ring finger. Continue to breathe softly and slowly through your nose. We'll be using the right thumb to close off the right nostril, and we'll be using the right ring and pinky fingers to close off the left nostril. So alternate nostril breathing. The end of a cycle is after you exhale through left nostril and hold the breath out. Let's take 3 cycles together, then 2 cycles on your own. Empty this breath. Close your eyes, steady your gaze at your third eye center. Hold the breath. With your right thumb, cover your right nostril. Inhale through the left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it in, 3, 2, 1. Cover left, exhale right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it out, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it in, 3, 2, 1. Close the right, exhale left, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it in or out, 3, 2, 1. Finishing first cycle. Inhale left, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Cover left. Exhale right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Inhale right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Cover right. Exhale left, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Second cycle complete. Inhale left, 6. Hold for 3. Cover left. Exhale right, 6. Hold for 3. Inhale right for 6. Hold for 3. Cover right. Exhale left for 6. Hold for 3. Continue 2 more cycles on your own. Take your time to finish those 2 cycles at your pace. When you are done, sit and breathe naturally. Observe the effects of the pranayama. Then take your time to slowly lower your body into a position of rest. Lying down, closing your eyes, and releasing control of your breath in Shavasana. We'll be there for the next 5 minutes before a guided meditation. Rest in this position just a little bit longer with your eyes still closed and your breath natural. And sense what's here in your physical state. What do you feel in your body? What do you feel in the breath? What do you feel in your mind and emotionally? Keep tuning inward. So maybe keep the eyes closed to help do that. And begin to move your body very slowly, very gently. Start with little movements. Be very subtle at first. Take your time to ease into larger movements, but still slow and careful. You might opt to turn over onto your right side and rest your head on your arm for a moment of mindful pause within the transition. And as you feel ready, guide your body up to a comfortable seat and find a way to ground in your seat, to feel upright as well, open, alert, relaxed. Place your hands in a position that helps you to concentrate. Maybe the hands are stacked, palms face up on your lap with thumb tips touching. A mudra for cultivating a sense of balance draws on balancing the 5 elements of nature within you, is bringing the fingertips to touch of the opposite hand, like you're holding a sphere between your palms right in front of you. Or you might bring the thumb and first finger to touch, palm face down, grounding energy, palms face up, uplifting. And then choose to either close your eyes or steady a soft gaze ahead. Feel your body breathe naturally. And let's begin Awakening Loving Kindness, a guided meditation written by Tara Brach. Allow yourself to remember and open up to your basic goodness, that which is a core essence in all of us. You might bring to mind times you have been kind or generous. You might recall your natural desire to be happy and not to suffer. You might honor your essential wakefulness, honesty, and love. If acknowledging your own goodness is difficult, then look at yourself through the eyes of someone who loves you. What does that person love about you? You might also bring to mind whoever to you embodies the beloved, the Buddha, Kuan Yin, Divine Mother, Jesus, Shiva, and see yourself with this being's wise and loving eyes. When you have connected with a sense of your essential goodness, rest in a tender appreciation for a few moments. Imagine the feeling of your own heart smiling. Now, with a silent whisper, begin offering yourself loving kindness through prayers of care. As you repeat each phrase, sense the meaning of the words and let them arise from the sincerity of your heart. They might include this: may I be filled with loving kindness. May I be held in loving kindness. May I accept myself just as I am. May I be happy. May I touch great and natural peace. May I know the natural joy of being alive. May my heart and mind awaken. May I be free. You might find that you begin to feel agitated as you offer yourself prayers of loving kindness. The words might seem discordant and artificial if you are feeling down on yourself. Sometimes the exercise of offering yourself care only highlights how undeserving and bad you feel about yourself. Without judgment, include this reactivity in the meditation, if so. May this too be held in loving kindness. Then resume offering the phrases of care to yourself, remaining mindful and accepting of whatever thoughts or feelings may arise. And if you feel like you're reciting the words mechanically during any part of the meditation, don't worry. What matters most is your intention to awaken loving kindness. Now, you can begin to open the circle of loving kindness. Bring to mind someone who is dear to you. Reflect on this person's basic goodness, sensing what it is in particular that you love about him or her. Perhaps you love this person's capacity to love, their honesty or humor. You might remember that he or she wants to be happy and doesn't want to suffer. Be aware of their essence as good and wakeful and loving. In your heart, feel your appreciation for this dear one and begin offering your prayer. Silently whisper each phrase of loving kindness that makes most sense to you, so that you visualize this person experiencing the fruit of your blessing. Self-acceptance, peace, joy, freedom. You might say something like this: may you too be filled with loving kindness. May you be held in loving kindness. May you feel my love now. May you accept yourself just as you are. May you be happy. May you know great and natural peace. May you know the natural joy of being alive. May your heart and mind awaken. May you be free. Now widen your circle of caring and awareness by bringing to mind a neutral person, someone you might see regularly but don't know well and don't have strong negative or positive feelings about. Reflect on this person's goodness by sensing how he or she also wants to be happy and doesn't want to suffer. Sense this being's aliveness and essential caring about life. And say the phrases that you'd like to offer in loving kindness to this person. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you accept yourself just as you are. May you be happy. May you know great and natural peace. May your heart and mind awaken. May you be free. Now bring to mind someone with whom you have a difficult relationship, perhaps someone who evokes anger, fear, or hurt. First, take some moments to bring a kind attention to whatever arises in you as you reflect on this person. Hold your own feelings with loving kindness. Then, turning your attention to this person, try to see some aspect of his or her basic goodness. If it's difficult to perceive kindness or honesty, simply reflect on how this person wants to be happy and doesn't want to suffer. Sense this being's fundamental wakefulness and remember that life matters to this person just as it does for you. Holding him or her in a gentle attention, begin offering your phrases of loving kindness that come most easily for you. I won't say them this time so that you can plug in the words that are genuine for you. Let's pause so you can do that. Next, imagine that you are bringing together all those you've just prayed for: yourself, a dear one, a neutral person, and a difficult person. And offer the prayers of loving kindness for all at once. Sense your shared humanity, your vulnerability, and your basic goodness. As you send prayers of care, hold yourself and these others in your heart, recognizing that you are all in this together. Now allow your awareness to open out in all directions, in front of you, to either side, behind you, below you, and above you. In this vast space, sense that your loving presence is holding all beings, the wild creatures that fly and swim and run across fields, the dogs and cats that live in our homes, the life forms that are threatened with extinction, the trees and grasses and flowers, children everywhere, humans living in great poverty and those with great riches, those at war and those at peace, those who are dying and those who are newly born. Imagine that you can hold the earth, our mother, in your lap and include all life everywhere in your boundless heart. Aware of the joys and sorrows that all beings experience, again, offer your prayers. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. May all beings know great and natural peace. May there be peace on earth, peace everywhere. May all beings awaken. May all be free. Then allow yourself to rest in openness and silence, letting whatever arises in your heart and awareness be touched by loving kindness for the next minute. Gently bring your palms together in front of your heart as you bow in. And find something to feel grateful for in this moment. Revisualize your intention you set for this practice. And revisualize that someone or something you chose to dedicate this practice to, now enjoying the fruits of it. Together, let's close, joining our voices in one Om. Inhale deeply. The light within me bows to the light within you. Namaste.